So I'm just going to go over some of my recommendations that I made here, and I still might have to make one more. I don't know if I made the constructive criticism one yet, but we will see. So my first one here is referring to the stat 57 to 78. That really doesn't have much of an effect because I'm not sure what a gas-powered engine's running at in a car. If you could add that stat, I think that not only clarifies this one that you have here for the potential hydrogen energy for a refueling vehicle, but it also just makes it that much stronger, especially if that of a gas-powered vehicle is much higher than that one. So my next one is referring to this whole section in the background, because in your analysis here, you're talking more about the hydrogen fuel. Instead of talking about the functionality of the fuel cell, I would talk about the delivery of the hydrogen fuel, because really what your report is on here is on improving hydrogen fuel delivery. So if you could really talk about how that's actually delivered, maybe, which I know it's delivered in a bunch of different ways, but if you could maybe talk like if it's really just dispensed like regular gasoline is, then maybe you wouldn't even need the section. But I'm just not really sure that the fuel cell functionality is necessary to your report. Again, you could disagree with me, which is fine. You could keep it, but just as a skeptical reader, I wasn't sure how that exactly related. Also, I think it's important to just double check your formatting. This here was size 11, and this was 10. There was just a couple others throughout the report, stuff like that. So here's the constructive criticism. I like how you analyzed everything in the same way. It really makes for a better conclusion and recommendation section at the end. This graphic's hard to understand for a non-specialist reader. I mean, a lot of this stuff, even as an engineer, I'm not sure exactly what that is. As an electrical engineer, I mean, I'm not working with all that stuff too much. So if you want to keep this graphic, I would maybe give a little bit more background information on what some of these things are here. I know you talked about this a little bit, but dispenser, obviously, heat exchanger, maybe a little bit, and whatever this is, you would maybe have to give some background information on that. And then that would make the graphic more powerful. So I don't know really what this was, because this is a country that's, I think, what did I say, in just north of Indonesia. It's not really part of Japan. So this was, I know you might have been talking about the AHEAD project, but I don't know how exactly that relates to the Japanese really employing this technique. And if you are just referring to that as one thing that was looked at in the AHEAD project, I think you need to make that a little bit more clear. Otherwise, it's just not something that's super necessary in my opinion. And I think that's pretty much everything. I actually gave some pretty comprehensive comments in the Google Forms, and that's going to give you more information on how you can make your report better. But overall, I actually think you did a really good job for the first draft. And it might look like there's a lot to revise, but those revisions are really just going to make your report that much more powerful. So nice job.